All right, and with that, welcome to the January 2021 Windows Insider Webcast. The first one of the new year, and we are kicking off strong. We have an exciting webcast here for you today. I don't know if you saw the tweets that went out. Hopefully you saw what was in the newsletter. Obviously you're here, so you knew what time to show up, and we appreciate you being here. We have a ton of teams that are on, including the Teams team of all things. It's going to be fun saying that a few times today. To cover the various insider programs here at Microsoft. We're going to talk to Teams, we're going to talk to Edge, we're going to talk to Office. We have the Family Safety team here. So without me yammering on too long about this, let me go ahead and bring on the usual crew, just so they can say hi real quick. You will notice this is all the usual folks here. Myself, hey, Jason Howard, Senior PM here on the Windows Insider team, and let me bring on the audio for everybody else. Vivek, you want to say hi real quick?
Hey, I'm Vivek, Windows Insider Program team, working with Jason and Brandon and Eddie, of course.
And Jen.
Not me?
Yeah, you.
Yes, Jen. Okay.
Jen too, of course.
Yes, of course.
Are we going in a circle?
Yeah, I'm just going around the loop. You, Jen, you are up.
Okay, cool. I'm Jen. I work on the Windows Shell surfaces. You probably know me as Jen MSFT, and I've probably looked at all of your feedback. So, yeah. Unfortunately, I will probably not be bringing out my new kitten today because she lives under my bed and would be very scared if I tried to remove her from under the bed until about 4 a.m. in the morning. So maybe if we do a nighttime call.
You can work on that for future episodes. Maybe she'll be a little less camera shy.
Future episodes.
All right. Eddie, how about you, sir? Eddie, I think you're muted. This is
trying to avoid feedback loops over here. I had myself still muted. So, so I'm on at DJ_Eddie L on Twitter. You guys know me there. I am a community manager on the Windows Insider team, and like Jen, I've probably looked at all your feedback as well. And we talk about it. Trust me, we do.
Awesome. And last but not least, Brandon.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I get to tell you guys a lot about the bits that we give out to you. So you see my name a lot when we hit publish on blog posts and such.
Awesome. So for most of the crew that you see here, they're going to be in the background today because while we as the Insider team love being out in public and talking to everyone and having our faces seen and being social, this episode today is not necessarily all about just the Windows Insider program. We are showing some love to all of the other Insider programs because one of the things that we got in the feedback from last year was that participants in the Windows Insider program didn't necessarily know what all Insider programs existed at Microsoft. So we wanted to actually do this particular episode to give each of the teams some time on screen to let you know, hey, these teams exist. This is how you can participate. These are the options available. And you can make decisions on, hey, this is something I want to participate in, or this is something I want to go and learn more about. So that's going to be the focus of this episode. So while all the usual cast and crew is here, as you can see them on screen currently, they're going to be kind of in the background. They'll be monitoring chat, hoping to kind of answer some of the questions that you may have along the way. And so without further ado, I'm actually going to bring the first group up, and let me get that switched over here. And this is the Family Safety crew. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you. Thank you so much for making the time this morning. If you could each take a moment to introduce yourself. Lisa, go ahead and start.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. Hi, everyone. My name is Elisa, and Ben and I are on the Family Safety team here at Microsoft. This is my first webcast, so really excited to be here.
Yay! Glad to have you.
Hello. I am Ben. I'm also on the Family Safety team. I'll be managing the beta program, which I'm very excited to talk to you about today.
Fantastic. And so I know that there is some material that you want to cover. I know you have a presentation that you want to go through. So I don't want to hold you up. If you want to go ahead and switch into presentation mode, it'll take me a second to swap over on my end. So the audience will keep seeing your smiling faces while I get this set up.
Sounds great.
And presentation is on screen. So whenever you are ready.
Awesome. That sounds great. Well, we're really excited to be here on the Windows Insiders webcast today. And we're excited to let you know that Microsoft is building a new community of families who use and love Microsoft products. And that's what we'll tell you a little bit about today. Today we'll share a couple of things. We'll share why this community is being created and what it looks like, what you as participants can expect. We'll reveal some current opportunities that you can get involved with right away, show you 2 short demos, and preview a few things that are in the works that you can expect coming up. This family community that Microsoft has created is coming at a great time. Microsoft is heavily investing in the health and happiness of families, and this community is just one way that we're showing support and commitment. Our goal is to talk to real people just like you, your family, families in your neighborhood, school districts, families that live all around the world about the products that are important to you. And we really hope that you can be our partners and help co-create these experiences with us. We want to talk to you about the products that are being developed, really listen and learn what's important in your lives to help inform what kind of experiences we can create, as well as create better experiences for you and your family to use on the day-to-day. New ideas that we might have and that you might have for something that can run better, work faster. And it's most important to us to listen and learn about what's important in your lives so that we can create better Microsoft 365 experiences for you and your family. All right. When you're a member of this community, you'll get early access to a couple of cool things. You'll get to preview new designs. So our team is constantly working on new frameworks, new buttons, new interfaces that we want you to test out. You get to try out new beta builds, and that's what Ben will be talking about in a couple minutes. You'll get to share your experience with us. We really want to hear about what you love, what you don't love, things that our team can fix to really help support you and your family. You can take advantage of one-on-one calls with team members. And actually, before the holidays, we had about 40 calls with folks and families who have already used one of our apps, Family Safety, and we're looking forward to scheduling a lot more this year. We're looking to help you connect with other families. In theory, we'd love to have you swap tips and tricks for using different Microsoft products and really connect with others. We would love to hear what you want to see. So on a couple of the calls that we've had people say, oh, it would be great if the app had this, or we would love to see this feature. This would make our lives so much easier. So we really want to hear about your feature requests. Attend exclusive webinars just like this. And we'll have different membership tiers as well as different participation levels. So if you're into one portion of the community, that's great. If you want to be involved in something else, we'll have different opportunities for you.
Hey, real quick, if I can ask one question before you jump to the next slide. You talked about some of the interactive sessions where you will be connecting with folks to get some of their feedback. Which platform are you using for those? And I'm curious if it's one of the ones we've already are using, because some of the insiders might actually be familiar with it so they know what to expect.
Sure. Yeah, that's awesome. Right now we are having these one-on-one calls with folks just via Teams. And in order to do that, we'll have some sign-up information a couple slides from now where you can just log on to the Microsoft Bookings tool and select a schedule, like a time slot to talk with all of us. But we are working on new communication platforms, which will be revealed at a later time.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. So we have 3 current opportunities available for you to get started with the Microsoft Family Community today. 2 of these opportunities are with Family Safety, which you may or may not have heard about. Microsoft Family Safety brings together tools that help you protect your family's digital safety across Xbox, Windows, and Android devices. These tools are more important than ever right now because of the amount of time that we're all spending engaged on our devices. And I'm actually curious to hear for those insiders on the call, if you currently manage your family's tech usage using an app or other tool, let us know in the chat to start a conversation about your go-to tool, and perhaps it's already Family Safety, which would be great. Awesome. Now I will turn it over to Ben, who will walk you through the current community opportunities.
Thank you so much, Elisa. Hey there, I am Ben. I'm here again to talk about the 3 current opportunities for the family community. All right, number 1. The first opportunity is something that we think this group will be very excited about. It's about becoming a beta tester. That's right, the Family Safety Preview is the upcoming beta opportunity available for testing, and we're looking forward to expanding beta opportunities for more Microsoft 365 products in the future. To get access to this beta, follow these links. For iOS users, go to aka.ms/beta iOS126. And for Android users, go to aka.ms/beta Android126. Now we'll be posting these links in the chat, and we'll also come back to this slide later at the end of the presentation. So when you open these links, just FYI, open them in a browser. You'll be asked to log in with your MSA. That's the account you use for Microsoft things. Follow the on-screen instructions, and you'll be asked to create a profile and sign a consent waiver, and then you'll be added to our participant list. So be on the lookout in the coming weeks after you sign up for more information on how to get started with testing. Number 2, while the beta testing opportunity is for the Family Safety app, the second opportunity is to give feedback on the new web experience at family.microsoft.com. This new interface is in preview exclusively for Windows Insiders, so we're especially excited to walk you through these new pages today. Our team members have dedicated time slots open for you to schedule a call with us to tell us what you think about the updates. You can schedule a 15-minute call to chat with us about family safety. You can sign up at aka.ms/feedbackchat. And number 3, there's other ways to be part of the family community. We're looking for a diverse set of families who use Microsoft products. So if you're curious to stay in the loop on the family community happenings and learn how you can connect with other families and swap tech tips, then we encourage you to sign up and learn more at aka.ms/signup126. So with that, let's get going with the family safety demo. We're demoing this to hopefully inspire you to download it and try it with your family if you're not already doing so. All right, we'll go to the demo. All right, so let's look at this fictional family and see how they use the Family Safety app to gain more peace of mind throughout their day. This is the Ellis family. Now, Elliot Ellis and his family have all downloaded the app on their iOS and Android phones so they can stay better connected throughout their day. Elliot is the family organizer, and from the home screen sees a quick glance of what all of his family members are up to. With Elliot's youngest son home from school right now, you notice he's spending a lot more time engaged in his devices than with his family. So Elliot wants to know and understand what's happening in his son's digital world. Elliot can see his son's total amount of screen time, and also what you're seeing on the screen is a granular look at all the apps that they're looking at. You can see all the apps and games across Xbox, Windows, and Android to give him a better sense of where he's spending his time, regardless of what device he's on. They both have a conversation about the 6 hours of screen time he's spent for the day and what they can do to help him develop healthier digital habits. So after the conversation, they can agree to set a guideline for how much time he can use on one of his favorite entertainment apps. Here you're seeing just a 1-hour time limit being set. So he can choose to schedule it for a specific day, specific time of day, and even set a different limit on the weekend. Now, once his son reaches his limit for the day, he'll receive a reminder that his time is almost up and can request more screen time from his parents. By enabling this dialogue, we want to empower kids to be able to ask for more screen time and empower parents to be able to make the choice. So parents can also tell us what they want to help their children make the right choices when it comes to content. Now, when looking at the list of apps and games, Elliot notices a new game pop up that is a little too mature for his son to be playing. Now, with content filters, Elliot can set up some guardrails to make sure his kids ask for approval before downloading any app or game over a specified age limit from the Xbox or Microsoft Store. He previously set a limit older than his son's age to give him some wiggle room, but sets it back to his age just to be safe. Now, we don't want to create new ways for families to limit their loved ones, but actually help them start a conversation on what type of content is right for them. For parents looking for peace of mind, that also includes websites kids may be accessing online. Elliot can use web and search filters to make that internet a safer place for his kids to explore. With Microsoft Edge, Elliot can block mature content, turn on safe search, and pre-select kid-friendly websites his son can view, visit, or filter out unsafe ones. And lastly, Elliot and his son both have access to his activity report, and along with weekly screen time. They can see the top website his son visits, along with some of the terms he's searching for online to get a better sense of what's happening in his digital world. Right now, a lot of people are home and not going to work or school, but folks who still need to be out and about can take advantage of our location features. Now, with location alerts, Elliot can set an alert that will notify him when one of his kids leaves and arrives home, giving him more peace of mind to know where his family is. Lastly, drive safety features will give Elliot and his teenage daughter detailed insights on how she's going on the road and how she's doing on the road, including drive summaries and interesting stats like top speed and the number of times she's picked up the phone while she's driving. And with that, let's continue with our second demo. Elisa, you want to take it away?
Awesome. Thanks, Ben. That's great. So that whole run through was the app experience. And like Ben mentioned, we'll have a beta released in the coming weeks for you to test out some new improvements, some new UX items. So we're excited about that. So the second opportunity to share your feedback right now is on family.microsoft.com, which is our web-based experience for family safety, where you can see your family's devices, screen time usage, and content filters from your browser. This new experience is open only to Windows Insiders right now, which is great, which is why we're excited to have you test it out. You may have seen some messaging in the previous December newsletter that this is available, which is why we're excited to have you test it out and really let us know what you think about this. We're eager to hear your feedback on these 3 new pages that I'm going to walk through with you now. So when you navigate to family.microsoft.com, you'll see 3 new pages on the left-hand panel, which are a brand new web experience. You'll see the child overview page, screen time page, and content filter page. The overview page, which you're looking at now, gives you a quick glance summary of daily average screen time, broken up by day, as well as the devices that are currently connected. You see here it's PC and Xbox. Click on Connect More Devices to do just that, and instructions will pop up on how to easily do so. If we do a quick scroll on the overview page, you'll see that the parent has applied an age filter of up to age 5, as this child is fairly tech savvy, but still on the much younger side. Web and search is currently turned on for this child, and you can actively block sites if there are certain ones you know will cause some issues. And you'll see additional toggles then at the end to let you know that you'll be receiving email updates about your child's usage. So let's check out the screen time page, where you'll get a larger view of the time spent on devices over the past week. And this part is pretty popular, so you can see the fixed schedule for the whole week. And you can also customize time in devices on specific days. So here you can go into any day you want. Let's choose this guy and adjust the time limit. So here we can make it less, make it more, depending on what your family's schedule is. And lastly, let's go over to content filters, where you can see which devices are currently hooked up to each account. And you can see additional details about web and search filtering. You can see that you can block and allow certain sites. And if we scroll down here a little bit, great. Yeah, here you can see which websites are currently blocked. And let's say I wanted to block specifically YouTube or something of the sort, you can just do that right in the field. Awesome. Great. So we really hope that you take this opportunity to get involved in the early stages of the Microsoft Family community, because we're really excited for you to be a part of the evolution. While the content offerings are focused on family safety right now, the community encompasses all of Microsoft 365 products and experiences from a family point of view. And here are a couple of things that are in the works that we're excited to continue working on and debut as the program rolls out. We have new communication channels, Jason, for your earlier comments, to connect with other teams across Microsoft, as well as team members and other families, to share tips and ideas with families who have opted into the community as well. We're excited to start hosting member events like AMAs and calls with the team, as well as introduce membership tiers and incentives. We want to hear what you and your kids would like to get out of this, as well as foster some great connections with other families. Again, here are the 3 opportunities that are available to you. I'm going to pop the copy, the AKA links in the chat here, so you can easily access that later on. So again, the 3 opportunities are to sign up for the Family Safety Beta. Go to these 2 links depending on your platform, and we'll be sending out instructions on how to download the beta build to your device and get started on giving us feedback about that. 2 is to give feedback on the family.microsoft.com web experience. Again, in preview only for Windows Insiders right now. And if you're feeling like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to hop into beta or if I want to, give feedback right now, you can always just sign up for the family community, and we'll let you know about different opportunities that are rolling out. Awesome. So on behalf of Ben and myself, thanks so much for listening. And please don't hesitate to contact us with any questions at hifamily@microsoft.com.
Fantastic. That was a metric ton of information that you covered in a very brief amount of time. The demos went flawlessly. Yay! It's always risky doing demos, especially those that have video and animation and stuff, because, well, you never know how they're going to turn out. I am super excited for how well that went. So, I'll give a shout out to Eddie on the background. Eddie's not on camera right now, but hey, Eddie, thanks for doing a good work there. I will say this. I know that there's been a ton of questions in the chat. Normally I would make a bunch of time to try to cover all of those. But I know we've got 3 more teams to go through today. And so if I could ask you, Elisa and Ben, to please check out the questions that are in chat. There's been a lot of really good questions, and I do not want y'all to miss those. And again, the links that were shared in the presentation, those will end up in chat as well. And then, of course, you can always watch the video on demand after we're finished later today. It'll post up here on Twitch, and you can check it out. And then, of course, we'll post it up on our YouTube channel later on, so you can watch this in the full replay at any point in time. Again, thanks to both of you for making the time. Really appreciate you being here. Great content. I'm super excited about this. Can't wait to see some participation in this. And then kind of as this evolves again in the future, hopefully we can have you back on. We can talk a little bit more about what's changed. And then if there's any suggestions or anything, you might want to nudge out towards insiders along the way, wink, wink. We can get you in the newsletter or whatever else. We'll figure out what the right way to do it is and keep this train rolling.
All right. That sounds great.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you both so much. All right, switching over. So let me real quick say thanks to both of you for making the time to come in and jump in today. Always great to get to partner with the folks over in Office, our peer sister insider group. For any insiders who may have had the opportunity to go to Ignite or Build in the past, they're usually right next door to us. So if you've seen us, hopefully you've seen them along the way. Susan, if you want to take a quick moment, introduce yourself.
Yes. Hi, I'm Susan Cockrell. I've been on the Office Insider team for about 3 years. I think I actually 3 years ago, right around this time, Jason brought me on to the Windows Insider Webcast. I think I was about 2 weeks into the role, and he surprised me by bringing me on to the Windows Insider Webcast and asking me a lot of questions. And I was like, I don't know. I just joined this team. But yeah, I work on the engagement side of this team. So I work on the Twitter handle, our blog, our website, our newsletter, and I just generally try to reach out to all of the insiders who work with the Office Insider program. So that's me. And Sandhya, do you want to introduce yourself?
Take it away.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sandhya. I'm an engineering PM for the Office Insider space. And fun fact about me, I've worked with Jason and Brandon on the Windows Insider side of the story. I worked on the Edge team. I'm working with Susan right now, who is my crime partner for the Office Insider space. And I work really closely with Kaushal, who's going to come up later on the Teams Insider space. So it's really awesome to be here with my past, present, and potentially future teammates here, and you're representing the Office Insider program.
You're all over. You just can't sit still. You're just all over the place.
Seems like it.
Hey, so I know that you have some material to present. I know we have some great content, obviously. You'll see me bouncing back and forth as I'm jumping across screens. So really, I guess the best question for you is, where do we want to start, right? I know there's some basic stuff you wanted to cover about the program. I know there's questions that we include in our annual survey about the Office Insider program. There's a chunk of the Windows Insider community that doesn't necessarily know about the Office Insider program, which we talk about them often enough. So we're going to keep, hopefully sharing that message so we can get you some more air cover, because it's just as important for insiders who are interested and want to be engaged to know the opportunity exists. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to you so you can kind of hop right on in.
Yeah. So I'm sharing my screen now. And basically, I'm just going to go through a real quick overview of just what the Office Insider program is. Obviously, Windows insiders know that what an insider program is. It allows you to preview the basic features of this program. So this is the Office 365 preview program. So it allows you to see all of the features that are in Office 365 first, just like the Windows Insider program. And so from a consumer's perspective, you get to see all those things. But then from the people like you who may be working in your organizations at work, might be in the IT department and trying to help deploy Office within your organizations. And this might be a program that allows you to help get a leg up in kind of trying to test and validate some of the Office features in your organization. So that's why the middle column here, we like to say like can help you support Office 365 adoption in your organization. So if you're working as an IT admin, or you're just interested in trying to see these features and kind of help test and validate in your organization, this can really help you get ahead and get a leg up in that validation. And so the last thing is just, same thing as in the Windows Insider program. This program for Office is when with Office Insiders, you're the first line of, the first signal that we get. We put these things out in the Insider program, and we look very closely at all of the signals that we get in telemetry. And so we pay really close attention to that feedback that we get from Office Insiders. And so we're listening really closely to that. And so feedback is super important to us from Office Insider. So, again, it's really similar to the Windows Insider program. So, everyone who's here on this webcast knows how an Insider program works, but these are the basics for Office. So, that's basically how that part goes. So, yeah.
Awesome. So what are some of the biggest differences you would say that exist between the Windows Insider program and the Office Insider program?
Yeah. So one of the biggest things is, Windows is a operating system. Office, is a productivity software, and so we support multiple platforms. And so that's one of the things that, as we've kind of run those surveys in the Windows Insider program, and we've asked people, are you familiar with the Office Insider program? We've gotten some feedback that people in the Windows Insider program aren't as familiar with the Office Insider program, and so we wanted to make sure that you knew a little bit more about it. We support iOS, Android, Windows, and Mac. And so we'd love to make sure that people know that, even though you're probably, for the people who are on the Windows Insider program, you're probably maybe potentially not running a Mac, but you can also pull the Office Insider program onto your phone. So I, for instance, am running this on my home Windows computer, but I also have it on my Android. And so we'd love to have people help us, test out all of our preview features. We're doing a ton of things and running a lot of new features and experiences on Android and iOS. And we'd really love help in getting people to preview all of these features on their phones and mobile devices. So yeah, that's another big thing. And so, I'm going to turn it over to Sandhya to talk a little bit more about, how you can get onto the Office Insider builds.
The important details.
Yeah.
So as Susan was talking about it, the Office Insider program is available both for work and for home. So you could be a writer who wants to use Word's text prediction feature to be a better writer or be more optimal at your writing. You could be a local school football coach and you want to use natural language query options in Excel. You could be a volunteer at a nonprofit who wants to get better at their presentation using the new presenter coach feature on PowerPoint. Or you could be an individual enthusiast who's just excited about the different features that they use for Office. So Office Insider program is for consumers. It's also for IT admins. If you're an IT admin and you want to be on the cutting edge of technology, you want to preview what's coming up next, and you want to validate the features before they roll out to the whole of your organization, you also want to be on the Insider program. It's very simple to get on the Insider program. For consumers, all you do is go to File, Account. You see the Office Insider slab there that's presented on the slide, and you make a choice there. For business, we bring it to the tooling where our IT admins already are. You can use Config Manager, Intune, Office Deployment Tool to configure the Insider channels for your devices, or you can use a group policy to light up a consumer-like experience where you see the backstage on Office.
Great.
Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. So
next slide.
Next slide. Yeah.
So as again, Susan touched a little bit upon it, one of the common threads that ties all of Insider programs together is the feedback that we get. It is the opportunity that the insiders get to tell us about, hey, this is working for us, this totally doesn't work for us, and Microsoft is intently listening to that. So on Office, the way you give feedback is on the top right-hand corner of your app, Word, Excel, Outlook, PowerPoint, you see a smile or a frown button. You can click on that and then send us your suggestions, your ideas, your complaints, your queries. And once you do that, we have our internal tool called One Customer Voice, which collates data not only from this, the send a smile, send a frown button, but it also collates data from our customer support tickets, from App Store reviews. And believe me, once the feature starts rolling out to our insiders, our feature PMs are refreshing the feedback feed all the time to see what is it that our insiders are liking. And we do want to make those bug fixes and optimize these experiences for you before they go out to production. So your feedback is super, super, super important to us. If you can go to the next slide. So one question we've been getting a lot is, hey, we are giving feedback, and this is specifically from the commercial side, when we meet a bunch of IT admins and IT decision makers at Inspire, at Ignite, what is happening to my feedback? So we listen to that feedback, pun intended, and we have the product feedback view in Admin Center now. So an IT admin can log into Admin Center, look at the comments and the feedback left by the end users, the apps where this feedback came from, the date submitted, and you can also drill down into whether there was diagnostic data sent, whether there was screenshots sent, and so on and so forth. One thing that I do want to stress on is, while we want to collaborate with our insiders on the feedback signal, we do want to bring them transparency and control. So the ID admin gets to control. If the ID admin doesn't want the organization end users to send screenshots or their email IDs, they can prevent them from doing so. So feedback views in Admin Center, it is in private preview right now, and there is a link on the slide which can be shared later, and that's how you come on to the private preview where we are test driving this feature because we want to get your feedback on that too and optimize your experience before we roll it out to production. Back to you, Susan.
Great.
Hey, I'll just take 1 second here if I may. And I clicked the wrong window. Sorry about that. There we go. Just for the Windows Insider folks out there, what Sandhya covered here is much like what exists on the what we call WIP for business side of things within Windows, right? For the IT admins that are trying to participate and have control over what their organization is doing, how they're collating and viewing the feedback, that exists. There's the systems might be slightly different, but the ability to get to that granular level to make sure that the right information is going to and staying in the correct place, that exists on both sides. And so I'm actually really glad that y'all covered that. It's super important information because that's always one of the questions, especially with enterprises that are working on their own maybe tented projects or secret things that they don't necessarily want to kind of go outside of the tent, so to speak. They do have the ability to make those controls and keep that information secure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So can I ask you something? Can I get you to get yourself in trouble and talk about what's cool and what's coming next?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yes. Yeah. So,
Yes.
are you talking about the next?
Absolutely.
The next slide? Yeah. Hot new insider features.
You know it.
Yeah. So, so these have been released. Yeah, but you got to be on the beta channel. So you've got to be on the absolute fastest Office Insider channels. So that's the beta channel, or what used to be called the Insider Fast, Office Insider Fast channel. So we released Lambda in early December, and that's the new Excel feature that allows you to take a formula and turn it into your own named custom function. So that's a big deal, probably the biggest thing since XLOOKUP and Excel. We're really excited about this one, and it's now released, I think, out to all of people, the whole of people who have beta channel in Excel. And the next one that's really exciting in Excel is also the track what you eat with the food data type in Excel. So there's nutrition tracker, recipe analyzer. Excel has just been going bananas with all of the amazing different data types that they have. If you haven't checked out Excel recently and all of the different things you can do, like astronomy and baby names, and just if you're an Excel person, and I'm not an Excel wizard, but there's just so many amazing things that you can do in Excel, and they are just releasing these data types left and right. So you want to be on the beta channel in Excel if you can, or in Office Insider, so that you can test out all of these new data types. And then the last thing, and you can find out about all of these things on our Insider blog. So you go to insider.office.com and go to our blog, and you'll see blog posts about all of these things, so you can read about just the details about them. And our PMs are amazing, and they write these blog posts that give you all the details. But the last thing on the lower left corner of this slide is about this new one that we just released, is share emails in your Teams chats and channels. So if you're in Outlook, you can go basically and click a little button on the top that says share to Teams, and now you can share an email directly into a Teams chat and channels if you're using Teams. So that's one that I've actually, since I've had access to that, I've just started using that just this past week, and I find it really, really convenient to be able to just share something right into Teams. So again, there's just it's new things pop into Office every week, literally, with beta channel, and it's just really fun to see all of the new ways that we can be productive. And our blog is basically, on this next slide is basically telling you all the different ways that you can find us. Insider.office.com. We have a blog, and we're posting new things up there every week that tell you all of the different things that we're releasing. And you can find us on Twitter. We have an answers forum. We have a newsletter, and we also have a tech community forum. You can also, if you're in beta channel and you go to the help what's new, you can find the release notes right in your release notes, right in your app. So you can stay where you are and be productive. If you're in Word and you're like, hey, I wonder what's come out from the Office Insider team this week, you just go to help and what's new, and you can find the release notes right there. And so, we try to just, continuously push out things for you constantly, and just make it available for you to, have new things at your fingertips. So that basically wraps up, all the stuff that we had to present to you today. I haven't been able to see what's in the chat while we've been talking, but I will go back and take a look at it while the next team's presenting, and see what else I can find to answer questions for. But yeah. It's been fun. It's been fun getting to come on and talk to everyone today.
It's always fun having y'all on. I mean, you're welcome back anytime. You know the door is always open. I will say one thing that you mentioned was about baby names and astronomy, and I have to say that's not a combination of words I've ever thought I would hear used in conjunction with Excel. I got a bit of a chuckle out of that. So you're gonna have to like send me an email or something and document how to what you were referencing in there, because now I'm like, wait, what? You got my curiosity piqued.
It's been phenomenal to see what the Excel team has been putting out over the past 6 months or 2 years, I'd say, and our blog posts have been coming out fast and furious. We put out 10 to 14 a month now, and the things that are coming out in our blog, it's just phenomenal, I'd say. I'm every day I'm just like, what? We have this now, and so it's just really fun to see everything that's coming out from all the different teams in Office. Just everything that's coming out. It just seems like we have a bunch of really creative things that are popping out from all the different app teams and PM teams. So it's fun.
Awesome. And you were absolutely right. There was a ton of comments that actually happened in the Twitch chat while you were going through the presentation, both of you, right? So I'll ask the same thing of both of you that I asked of the family safety folks, is if you could go back, scan through the chat, grab some of those questions. Lots of good comments, lots of some very interesting and supportive comments. Apparently some of the folks have already tried the Lambda function out, and there's a little bit of raving happening about it. So it sounds like y'all are moving things in the right direction. So keep up the good work. As things change in the future, again, like I said, the door is always open. We'll be happy to have you on again.
We'd love to come back.
You're seasoned veterans at this now. It's like old hands. So
thank you.
Thank you both again for being here. With that, we'll wrap up.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So we'll wrap on the
so
office
much.
side here, and let me switch over. Kausha, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, Jason. So this is our debut in the Insider Webcast. Thanks, Jason and team, for inviting us. My name is Kaushal Mehta. I lead the Teams Insider program for Teams Engineering. Again, thanks. And I actually want to kick off by just re-emphasizing what Sandhya and Jason said. We are a real team. There are real human beings who are looking at your feedback. We have actually over 50 PMs in our whole org that is doing all of customer feedback, looking at product feedback, how to improve the product, how to improve our feature set, how to build prioritized feature backlog, and so on. And today's agenda, we want to focus on our newly launched public preview, how to turn on public preview, and how we as a team inside Teams are using our product and rest of M365 tools and products to run our program. So super excited. Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next.
Alexander, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, Jason. Thank you for having me. So I'm very excited to be part of this. And again, as Kaushal mentioned, it's my debut with Windows Insider Webcast. My role is focusing on quality of Teams. I'm working with Kaushal, and my focus is customers and features and making sure that customer experience is great with Teams and that we delight our customers.
So, Roman, would you like to introduce yourself?
Are we doing a round of intros?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I'm Roman Friarte, and I work on the Teams Quality and Customer Obsession team, and I look at a whole chunk of the feedback from a bunch of our features, including but not only live events and calling.
Awesome. And then I am...
It's fun.
I'll just start talking here. Maybe that'll get my video to pop up. My name is Emily Kirby. Hi, everybody. As everyone's saying, it's awesome to be here. Woohoo! I am in the Teams engineering group, along with all the folks on the screen here, and I am responsible for all of the meetings feedback. And Sandhya mentioned one customer voice, so anything you have to say about Teams meetings, I can assure you I am looking at it. User voice, whatever your feedback is, it's coming across my eyes. So thanks for the feedback, and thanks for having us.
Fantastic. Glad to have you here.
My name is Michael Weeks. I'm also on the Quality and Customer Obsession team. I look at Teams and channel feedback as well as some other minor topics.
It's interesting. Every time somebody speaks, your video jumps into the scene. So I'm not really sure. It's something we'll have to troubleshoot after the fact. It seems to be rotating between folks. But hey, I will say each person that has spoken, your video comes up as you are speaking. So maybe it's just luck.
We'll be sure to look at your feedback when it comes in.
It's like I know somebody, right? I might know a few folks on the Teams team. So with that, I don't want to hold you up any longer. So I know each of you have some material that you want to present. There's a presentation that looks like it is queued up. So give me just a moment and let me switch over to the shared screen and get that transitioned. All right. Any moment now, the folks on Twitch will see it, so you can get started.
Great.
Thanks. So basically what we're going to show you right now is just kind of some of the features that we're coming out with in the Teams public preview, just to kind of whet your appetite and get you set to see what all we offer. One of the first items that we're shipped just recently is Design for Focus, where we're trying to modernize and lighten up the heavyweight UI that we've been working with previously. So we've updated the color schemes and stuff on the dark and default themes. We've added some shadowing and stuff to make it look a little more modern. And icons for the Fluent icon set are coming out very soon.
Beautiful. If anybody knows me, they know I am a giant fan of dark mode. If I could, I would dark mode the world.
Yeah, and I felt it was jarring in the past with all the purple on there with the dark mode. So I think that the shifting to all dark is definitely an improvement.
Excellent, excellent.
So the next feature that is in public preview and we want to highlight is Teams meetings for in VDI environment 2x2 gallery view. So this feature is available in a public preview on the Citrix and VMware VDI platforms. And basically it gives you this 2x2 Brady Bunch grid of videos. So it's improvement from a current experience with a single video for active speaker. To try out this feature, you of course need to have VDI environment up to date with prerequisites completed. So you need to have option to be optimized before you try this feature. And then to get this feature, you need to make sure that you switch to public preview and join a meeting and start collaborating face to face with your peers and your partners with a much better video experience on VDI platform.
Excellent. And I love the integration cross-platform. That is fantastic.
Next up, this was a feature that was long awaited, and we were excited to get this as part of our first launch of preview, is meeting reactions. So we all, or most of us, are all working from home, so you don't have that in-person gauge of how your points are landing. This is our first iteration of giving you some feedback as to how your points are landing in the presentation you're giving, or to give a little virtual round of applause at the end of your presentation. Right now, this feature is available on Windows desktop as well as Mac, and we are looking to release this very soon on mobile platforms as well as web. So as everyone's saying, please try it out. Give us feedback if you see any issues or suggestions. And in our inner meeting, I'm getting some applause now. So it's a great way to get some feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say one thing before we jump to the next one, that especially in like bigger meetings like all hands and things that we have internally, this is one of the most commonly used things because it's one thing to be presenting, so the presenter may not necessarily be focused on the chat side of things, right? So they're not really focused there, but they're given this presentation and whatnot. And then all of a sudden you see all the little hearts and the smileys and the thumbs up and everything. And it's a great way to judge the pulse of the audience, to kind of the reaction to some of the material that's being presented or some of the things that, the co-presenters may have said, depending on the situation. And so it's really great to see this. And it's one of those things that at first, just personally, right, I was like, I wonder if I'll use this. And then, of course, you do it once and then you do it twice. And it's like, okay, this is actually a lot of fun. And so I catch myself using it more and more frequently in more of my meetings.
Right. And I think it was the Microsoft Teams or the Microsoft Instagram. They made a joke about how you'll say nothing for the whole meeting and then at the end come off mute and say, no questions, thank you. So I think that little thumbs up can take place of that single awkward unmute at the end of a meeting.
I know. Oh my goodness. Technology is changing.
It is. And on that same note, when we move over to the next slide here, another feature that folks have found to love and had a lot of fun with, especially over the holidays, was our Together mode and large gallery features. And the biggest gap was, hey, I have whatever device and I can't use it on web. Well, now this is available on web clients. If you have a Chromium-based Edge or Google Chrome as your browser. So this is now available for everyone in Ring 3.6, our public preview ring. And the way you turn this on is similar to the desktop client. You go into the overflow menu or ellipses option in the control bar of the meeting and just select which layout you would like to see. The last feature I have to talk about here is our PowerPoint presenter view. This is the feature that was most recently released as part of our January feature pack. And I know if you have been presenting any PowerPoint decks at home, I've heard the feedback loud and clear that we need to see our notes. And so this is coming to address that need and that pain. And what this feature gives you is the ability to see a preview of all of the slides at the bottom of your presenter view, as well as the notes that you have for that slide. You are aware of what slide everyone is seeing by the one that is highlighted in red at the top. And if you disable the ability for folks to navigate through your slide deck, then you can control the viewing experience for them. If someone else, you have a co-presenter and someone else is taking over, they can click request control and then their view will switch over to presenter view and yours will go back to the regular viewing mode. So really excited to have this feature out. Again, try it, give us your feedback, and we will listen.
And I have properly come off of mute this time. Thank you so much for sharing that. And up next, it looks like we got call merge.
Hey, yeah, so this is Roman with call merge. So there's a couple different ways that you can use call merge, basically depending on what you're doing in Teams with calling at that moment. So say that I'm on a call with Michael, and I realize that actually we have a question for Kaushal. So I make that new call without hanging up on Michael, and that just puts Michael on hold. And then I'm talking to Kaushal, and I realize actually the three of us should be talking, not just me relaying Kaushal's back to Michael. So I use that ... or ellipsis menu that Emily was showing you in a meetings context. Here in a calling context, if you're in public preview, you'll see call merge. So now Kaushal, Michael, and I can all talk to each other live. No more game of telephone, if you remember that from when we were all kids. And another way to use call merge is if you have an incoming call when you're already on a call. So if I'm talking to Emily about a customer issue and I see a call coming in from Contoso, and for those of you keeping track at home, cha-ching, Contoso, you knew that would be in this. So I merge in the call, and now Emily and I are both talking to our customer from Contoso with the call merge feature. So that's a couple ways to use it.
Excellent. That is, yes. I love seeing these little bits come together. It all makes a more cohesive, a more unified experience. And the fact that it's within the functions and controls that are already there, right? The same drop downs, the same menus, right? Folks don't have to necessarily go somewhere new to try to find some of this functionality. It's in the places that people already are. And that makes it the easiest way to transition and pick up some of this new functionality. And it helps with the discoverability as well, because you go there and it's usually, say it's the third item down, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, there's something new here. It catches your attention and be like, hey, maybe I should give this a try, or maybe I should do some research on it if I'm not quite sure what it is.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, Emily, Roman, Alexander, Michael. So if you haven't tried these features yet, please give it a try. We are listening to your feedback and we act on it. So please give it a try. Now, for customers who haven't tried public preview, we'll just go over the Insider program and how you can enable public preview. So before we go into how we can enable public preview, just wanted to give the full picture. We have just launched the Teams Insider with our public preview launch. So until now, for the past, since Teams went GA in March, April of 2017, we were engaging with our customers through our TAB program. It continues to be under NDA. It continues to be confidential, and it has qualifications and requirements. And we got a lot of customer feedback that, hey, we want to evaluate features as well. We may not want to just test it. So we need an option. So we launched a public preview in December last month, and we launched those 5 features with this launch as well. And this gives ability for any customer out there to try out, evaluate features without having to commit to any of the TAB requirements. So the goal here is evaluation. Goal here is for you to nominate any users through a policy and have the users try out these features and give us feedback before the feature goes to the current channel. As IT admins, there are a few steps you have to take. So set up the admin policy. It's in the Teams Admin Center. you figure out which users should be in public preview, assign that policy, the allow preview policy under the new section that we have introduced, and assign it to the users. Users then have to take the action to switch to public preview, and whichever features are flighting in public preview, they'll be able to evaluate those features and give us feedback. So another topic we wanted to quickly go over is our like what we do inside our program. Back in January of 2018, I want to say we used to have like a 20K budget every month to run our program, to establish all the services, the framework, and whatever is required to run the program. I was told that your budget is zero, and we have to run as a startup and figure out a way to build this program from ground up. So we used Teams as a product as well as a platform, and used all of the M365 software tools that are available to us and build every component. So for example, for nomination, which is on the top left there, we use forms to get customer nominations, and then we have a flow connector, and we have written custom code to connect that to Teams. So whenever a new customer nomination comes in, there is a channel post in our internal team, in a private team, where we have a workflow to accept, reject, put on hold, add some notes right in Teams. And then that gets stored into Excel, from where we take all the information. Whoever has been accepted, approved, will then go into our backend service, and boom, those tenants, those customers will be in our inner rings or inner channels. So after that, we'll take those names and we'll put them as guests in another team where we engage with the customers directly. So again, until now, it has been Teams, Excel, Flow, and Azure, and open source coding that has got us here. From there on, all of our engagement is with the customers through this team itself. We use Power BI tabs to announce our features. We again use channel posts that are actually connectors that are talking to backend Azure DevOps, where all our features and all of our feature database, everything is there, our bugs and everything. And depending on some of the fields that we tap into in ADO or Azure DevOps, we will make those announcements for the customers. One of the good challenge we have had with Teams is the feature velocity, the pace at which we have been shipping features, and it has been very challenging to stay on top of those features. So through a connector, we were able to keep ourselves honest, because customers will keep track of which features are releasing, and that automation really, really helped us. We were not able to scale until then without those connectors that we built that were connecting to the backend feature ADO. We then use tabs, and we publish some of these test cases and scenarios to customers, and right within that Tab 100 team, where each channel is a feature-specific channel, there is a tab where customers know that they can provide feedback and answer some of the questions. And that, again, connects back to Azure DevOps and so on. So this is really our, this, and there are more components. All of the code here is available on GitHub as open source, so you can repurpose this code. And if you have any questions, we can help you set this up as well. But the point that we want to get across is that we are using all of our tools. We are using Teams as a product plus platform. We are using all of the Office applications, all of the software that is available from M365. We are using Azure Cloud to store all of these. And one more point to call out is that when we use these products from M365, we don't have to worry about security, anything that is compliance related, because these products itself, they meet our security and compliance standards. So yeah, if you have any questions, any feedback, please let us know.
Wow. Like, so I brought everybody back on screen here. Again, if you see some purple boxes, hopefully their videos will pop up for anybody who wants to reply. My goodness, that was a lot of material. And you actually kind of talked through at the end one of the questions that I wanted to ask, which was, how are you using Microsoft tools and products to kind of run your service? That last diagram kind of covered it end to end. Like, I don't know if there's anything you want to append to it, but I will say that kind of, I didn't even realize it was quite that much.
Yeah, no, it has been, actually it's beyond this as well. Like Emily mentioned, we also use OCB. So all of the feedback that comes from the team, we have different ways you can provide feedback for users. All of you who are in preview, there is give feedback. So that goes into OCV, and that is not just for give feedback. We look at other sources as well where customers are, sharing their feedback. So we have actually beyond this that we can actually talk about in another Insider webcast, Jason. But this was something to start with.
Yeah, for sure. And so there was one question that I actually meant to ask at the top of this segment. Forgive me, right? I got a little sidetracked. It was, kind of happens from time to time. And it's the team's team. Your entire group, like all up from end to end, is highly distributed. Like quite literally, this is no exaggeration here, it's literally a global team. You have folks here in the US, you have folks in Europe, you have folks over in Asia. Like I'm honestly, I can't even say that I know where everybody is. That's how many folks are kind of scattered around.
Yes, we were actually just talking about this morning with the quality and customer obsession team alone, which is about 30 people or so. We're scattered over 7 time zones. So even just us meeting as a small group of the team's team, it takes some effort to be deliberate and pay attention to what everyone else is having to do at a different time. And then, of course, with the craziness of this last year has just magnified it that much more because people are dealing with school closures and personal life issues and other things going on. So it's been a fun challenge. And Teams has always been, like you said, across the globe, and now it's even more so. But it brings that diversity that allows us to reach more places and understand our customers that much better. We live the pain. We work this way just like everyone else, and in doing so, we are helping, hopefully.
And no doubt that some of the just, we'll just call them, it's in a good way, but it's challenges, right? Of trying to be respectful of, what time is it 6 o'clock in the morning for somebody while it's 9 o'clock at night for somebody else who might be on a call. Nobody wants to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to be on a conference call. I can tell you that. So trying to be respectful of some of those time zone boundaries and those work-life balance kind of concerns and whatnot. And then just to see, this may sound a little silly, right? But some of the functionality that actually exists within Teams, and the ease of use between, like if I'm up at 11 o'clock at night and happen to be on a call, I might not want to be on Teams. I might not want to be showing my video, right? I'm probably exhausted at the end of the day, but I do want to collaborate with my peers and accomplish good things. And so just little things like that, where you have these simple controls and you have the ability of like communicating with folks. Just, I'm probably not doing the world's greatest job of describing it, but I will say that each of these little things kind of contributes to making it a better experience for everybody who's online. And I will say, if there's any team working in a global fashion that can leverage what they're learning being remotely distributed, it is the Teams team. Because you are literally building one of the biggest tools that people use to collaborate. And you having that experience, you living that day to day and bringing that experience back into the tool that you are making these ongoing design changes to and making it better for literally folks all around the world. I just, on behalf of everybody that uses Teams, I want to say thanks, because it's that knowledge that helps keep Teams keep getting better, iteration over iteration, release over release. Like, we can feel like the amount of work that you put into this, and I just want to say thanks, because it's a lot of work and it's really appreciated.
Well, and we love doing it. I mean, that's why we're all here. That's why we listen to the customers. So, thank you.
Obsession is in our team name, so we are customer obsessed. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, absolutely. I will sneak one more question in here, if I may. You covered like some of the new stuff that's available for folks to go and poke around and preview or whatever. Are there any other features you might want to talk about? Am I getting you in trouble here? Like, not trying to get anybody, broken into jail or whatnot. Just, one last opportunity to cover anything else you might want to share before we pop over to the Edge group.
I don't know if Emily, or Roman, we want to talk about some of the calling features. Alexander, Michael. I think, Michael, you mentioned about the icons that are coming. If anything comes up,
I'm kind of like, where do I begin?
I don't want to get you in trouble, right?
I'd say Ignite. Yeah, no, Ignite is coming.
Okay.
And so much is being announced.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of features that are under like a embargo until so they have their time in the limelight. So I'd say stay tuned and tune in there. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Emily also shared something very useful. If you noticed in the chat, there is a roadmap published about Teams. So that gives you a little taste of what's coming. But yeah, there's just so much that I wish I could share something about it, but yeah, stay tuned for Ignite.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I would recommend to follow Microsoft Teams technical community blog.
Okay.
Yes.
Every month we're posting a very good, solid quality of new features with some great GIFs and some videos that demo those features. So check Teams community blog. Very good source for information.
Well, excellent. As we wrap up here, I would ask if one of you could please share that link in the chat. Folks can bookmark it, make sure they have access to it so they can reference it later. Again, I apologize for the little, video glitches that may have happened along the way. I take full responsibility for that. This last section, everybody's on there, everybody's smiling faces. But I will say it has been absolutely fantastic having you on. Everybody, all your sessions went great. I'm super thankful that you made the time to come and present. And as, again, like I said, with the other insider groups here, as things can change in the future, as we've got more material to kind of go through, we'd love to have you back on. The door is always open. But I'll just wrap and say thank you again so very much. We really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jason.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So with that, Missy, I don't know if you're actually watching
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't know if you're actually watching the stream chat, but I have all of us here with you because as the representative of the Edge group today, I didn't want you to be left out and be on screen solo. I wanted you to feel like you were a part of the team, which you absolutely are. So that's why I have you in the Brady Bunch with us here. Just so I don't want to take up too much of your time because I have the bad habit of starting to talk and then I don't always know when to stop talking. So, really, let me just ask a question and I will turn the reins over to you. It's a super simple question. It's going to sound like a softball, and I'm sure you've answered it more than once along the way. What is the Edge Insider Program?
That's a wonderful question. And a lot of Windows Insiders already know what this is, but in case you aren't, Edge recently moved from Edge HTML to Chromium based. With that, we actually opened up some insider channels a couple years ago so that we can have users test these, the new browser for us overall, right? And so we're a relatively new insiders program. We have been around, like I said, about 2 years. We have been working really, really hard to bring parity with some of the features on Edge Legacy that a lot of users want on new Microsoft Edge. And hopefully I can actually answer some of the questions about those things that we've been talking about on our insider forums lately.
Awesome. I'm still getting the hang of the mute button over here. Apparently I have forgotten how to do this. You'd think with enough of these.
Control-Shift-F.
See, now I'm just gonna learn a new shortcut here.
That's all you.
So one of the things that has come up that I've seen, both like on your social handles, right, and then just kind of in general conversation, is about sleeping tabs, and I've seen that come up before. I've seen it in my own Edge browser itself. Can you talk a little bit about that experience as well as really the performance side of things? And I don't want to kind of dovetail off too much, right? But like depending on what's on a web page, there could be a lot happening, content flowing back and forth. Some web pages have a lot of ads that constantly refresh, and if you're not on that tab, right, it could potentially chewing up resources, system resources that may actually affect other things you're trying to do on your computer. So can you like talk to us a little bit about this functionality and really some of the benefits of it?
Yeah, so it was actually designed off of people have compared it to this, but it's built on top of the Google's freezing tab technology. So we've actually built on top of it to make it a little bit more user-friendly for Edge users themselves. And it is based solely around performance to help improve that CPU and memory usage that is so common with having tons of tabs open. And I am one of those people that constantly has tabs open for the entire day. And you're right, there's like ads that refresh, sometimes JavaScript decides to reload for no reason, and then it eats your resources. So Sleeping Tabs is designed, we actually have a custom timer now where you can set it to have your tabs be put to sleep, very similar to how your computer falls asleep. Anywhere from 5 minutes to 2 hours. It makes it a lot more customizable. I think we initially launched it with 2 hours with insiders, but based on feedback, we actually reiterated that. We are fully rolled out on our insider channels with Sleeping Tabs and have started rolling out to our stable users. And if you're not seeing it, there is a flag that you can enable, and I will drop that in the chat once I am able to do that. Or if Jen wants to be super helpful and drop that in there for me, I'm pretty sure she could find it.
I'll dig it up.
I love you. Thank you. I'll also drop the Sleeping Tabs back we have on our tech community insider forums, because that's got all of the details in there. And once it's fully rolled out to stable, we're gonna make sure we have more details in there itself. So I'll make sure y'all have all that.
Excellent, excellent. And Eddie's video just popped in. Hey, Eddie, what's up? Oh my goodness! Now
we're all eventually getting in here.
I know, right?
It's just we'll pop up.
It's so funny. It's interesting. Oh, and there's Vivek. Hi, Vivek. Jen, the magic trick might be cycling your webcam. If you could turn off your video feed and turn it back on, you might actually pop in. Like I said,
Did
I
you really just
really
tell me
think
to turn it off and on again?
Yeah, can you turn it off and on again? That's totally what I did.
It's a standard IT scenario.
I know, right?
Turn it off and turn it off.
I think it's an NDI thing of the order that videos got stacked in. So, anyway, as usual, as we have from Webcast, we got a little homework to do. We'll figure it out. But hey, at least you can hear us and see most of us. So that's a plus. So let me ask this here. There's a question that popped in, and I hope I'm not catching you out of left field with this. And it is, I've been tire kicking Edge Dev on Chromebook. Any thoughts about when that will become a supported platform so I can sign into my profile? I'm not trying to get you in trouble. It's a question from the audience. Maybe you have something you can share. Maybe you don't.
We do not have any plans to support Chromebook at this time. This is not something that has been, or this is not something new. I've been asked this a couple times over the course of my year helping out the Edge insiders, is if we will support Chromebook for it. We don't have any plans, but submit feedback asking for it, seriously. Like the rest of the teams that are here, we are constantly in one customer voice making sure we catch these things. So please submit the request through the browser directly.
Excellent. And then something else that we had kind of captured before the webcast started was a question relating to History Sync and what's the status?
Well, History Sync has been the name of the game since we launched, essentially, right? History Sync is super important to everybody. It's how you make sure that all of your stuff is going between all your browsers. You have access to it. We actually just last week officially rolled out fully to all channels on Windows, Mac. Linux is still a little bit in our insiders program not having sync. So once we have more info on that, we will definitely announce it. And I'm sure people will be very excited to know we have started rolling out on mobile. It's not complete yet, but we have started rolling out History Sync and Open Tab Sync to mobile. So users should start seeing that in their sync settings.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm going to ask you something. And I might be opening up a can of worms. I don't know. I feel kind of bad. This is the bad thing about spontaneous questions, especially in a live session. It's always, can I talk about it? Can I not talk about it? But you're a pro at not answering questions when you can't. So maybe I shouldn't feel too bad. But I do feel bad putting you on the spot. I just want to be on the record in saying that, right?
I mean, I came on here to be on the spot, didn't I? I came in here to get attacked, right? That's what this is.
Well, so far it's been fairly tame, right? This next question, I might be sneaking out the gate a little bit with it, right? And it's, of course, it's a question relating to Edge on mobile. And maybe I'm shamelessly using this opportunity to plug something that I want that I might have already submitted feedback on, but hey, it never hurts to get it in front of more people. And maybe if insiders hear about it, maybe they'll make the suggestions and upvotes on it too. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. And so in the mobile browser, when you pop open a new tab and it gives you that page with the address bar and it shows you some of your most frequently visited pages. This may sound like something simple, but it's something near and dear to my heart. I would love for that to, instead of showing my frequent pages, to show my favorites instead. Because oftentimes, like a page that I will visit frequently, there's like I just go to like a main landing page and then navigate to it. But my favorite is actually a very specific page on a website. And so I'd rather just go to that specific page first. Maybe it's my surfing habit. I don't know. Maybe it's just me being weird. But, I'm not necessarily asking you to comment on it. I'm not trying to get you in trouble if you can't talk about it, but
That's a great feedback, actually. Especially for mobile users, being able to have that one touch is really, really handy. And I absolutely love the fact that people are thinking about these kind of things when it comes to, we call those little buttons top sites, is what the feature officially is called. And we actually have an item on our top feedback summary for our desktop platforms to allow more of those top sites on it. And while we don't have anything around mobile top feedback, and that is something that I am actually working on the team on bringing to insiders, is to have that top feedback for mobile side of things too. It's one of those things where as we continue to bring mobile up to parity with our desktop apps, it's a great time right now to get this kind of feedback into the team, because as we're working on bringing all of this, it helps to get some of these random asks from users into it as we go to update. And obviously I can't make any promises, but it really is the best time to get your feedback in around anything mobile. And the best way to do that is through the mobile app as well. If you hit the menu button and then scroll down to the bottom of your options there should be a send feedback option. It's really easy to send it to us.
Beautiful. So let me ask you a couple questions real quick, because it was something that I probably should have asked at the beginning of this segment, but better late than never. For insiders that want to get a hold of you, what is the best way to reach out? Obviously they can send feedback in each of the platforms, but do you have a social presence? Where's the best way to reach out? I'm pretty sure you have a Twitter handle, both from the Edge side, and I know you personally have one because I see you on there quite frequently. So any plugs you want to give for where you may do Q&A along the way? I know you've done some AMAs in the past. I would love for you to kind of share that so that any of the insiders that might want to participate in the future, they know how to reach you.
Yeah, so on Reddit, which is where I mostly am, I am MSFT Missy. It's the same as my Twitch name, if you guys have seen me chatting a little bit in Twitch. On Twitter, I am MSEdge Missy. That is the handle that I use to answer questions or yell at Eddie when he decides to tag me into things. And then I have... And then I have the handle that I actually run for insiders, IT professionals, developers, educators, is the MSEdge Dev Twitter handle. So those are the three spaces you can get a hold of me essentially directly, but for feedback, we definitely want it to go through the browser.
Absolutely. Because the other thing is just like with, on Windows devices, submitting feedback from the device where you may have, say there's some sort of performance thing, right? To make sure it's coming from the correct device actually goes a long way to making sure that we know how to dig in and potentially troubleshoot, root cause, whatever the scenario may be. You don't want to submit, advice, feedback on a mobile platform over on your actual, desktop web browser, because there's a lot of stuff lost in that translation along the way.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's something that I have found with people who use Edge on Xbox. That is a request we get all the time. When is Edge on Xbox going to be updated? And that's once we are ready to share our plans, we will do that. But one of the things that we have run into is you can't submit feedback directly to our team when it comes to Edge on Xbox unless you go through these social channels. So that's where we keep an eye out on Edge on Xbox stuff because of privacy reasons. And I'm sure, I really hope everybody watching this understands it. We don't have access to that data. There's just privacy reasons, guys. We try to protect your data in every program we're in.
Oh, absolutely. That is a company-wide thing. It's not specific just to any of the insider programs. It is one of the things that is literally built into each of the products and services that Microsoft has out there. It is part of the development process. It is part of the ideation process that program and project managers go through when they're coming up with some of what should we build next. Like, it is literally built in. It is not a oops, we forgot about it, so let's just kind of slap it on at the end. It is part of the design process. And I will say, Eddie, that was really funny, that chuckle that you kind of let out there when Missy totally called you out, like put you on blast right on the webcast live in front of everybody. I mean, you probably deserved it, but it was still funny.
I'll throw him under the bus quick.
I'm okay with getting thrown under the bus. Eddie's like, this is an Edge problem. Missy, fix it. I'm like, thanks, Eddie.
Oh my goodness. Well, Missy, we're at the bottom of the hour here. I do not want to cut you short. Was there anything else you wanted to share with the group?
No, I don't think I have anything else I wanted to share with the group. But today we should be pushing out our dev update this afternoon, and there's actually going to be a few updates to our top feedback summaries, so check that out. I will drop the AKA link in chat for our top feedback. And next week, beta is getting updated. So it will be moving from Edge 88 to Edge 89. And that's pretty big. There's a lot of good stuff in Edge 89.
Excellent. See, I love it when we get to give little sneak peek stuff, right? Insiders always get that first little nugget of information. So I'm sure somebody will go and tweet about it and be like, guess what? It's coming next week.
Well, to be fair, we do follow Chrome's schedule. We're about 3 days behind them normally. So if you find Chrome's public schedule for how they publish their stuff, we're right behind them. So it's not hard to find.
You're giving your secrets away now.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness. Well, hey, to all the insiders out there, I know folks have come and gone, and a lot of folks have stuck with us through the whole broadcast. That is greatly appreciated. For everybody that is still with us, because I know some of the presenters today have had to drop off along the way. An hour and a half webcast is a long webcast, but there's lots of other meetings and stuff internally. I'm going to drop us back into together mode, so the video is going to disappear very briefly. We're wrapping up here, obviously. This has been a super fun webcast. I really appreciate each of the groups making the time to be here. Like I said, a ton of good information for any of the insiders who may not have known about some of these other programs. Hopefully you do now. We will absolutely get this pushed up to our YouTube channel, because there's so much good content here that we don't want this to be just a one-time thing for the people that were here live to consume and then it to kind of disappear. So this will, of course, become historical content. But for the new folks that I may not have worked with before, and some of the folks that I've seen more times than they probably wanted to see me, I will just say thank you all for making the time. Really appreciate it. Each of you does fantastic work on behalf of Microsoft and the products that you represent. Huge thanks. And on behalf of the insider community, we will wrap here. Hopefully this webcast has been informational and informative. We will be back next month. I believe it is on February the 24th. We will have a reprise of the storage folks coming back as kind of a sneak peek of what's coming next month. So on behalf of everybody who is in the audience, I won't name everybody by name, but I will just say thank you once again. Really appreciate it. And until next month, thank you all.